Welcome back, everybody. I have the distinct pleasure of speaking to an actress who came from Japan to LA and has worked in both markets. A friend of David Banks, who's a friend of the show. Thank you, David, for getting this set up. Please welcome to the program, Hazuki Kato.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much. I know it took us a little while to get together, but in the serendipitous way that life tends to work, this morning I booked and I had a conversation with Jim. Meskimen, who after I started looking at you guys are intersecting because
Really?
the projects that you have in post prod, Garrison 7, both of the movies, he's a part of those too, and
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm scheduled to shoot next year. Yeah, in Australia. Yeah.
yeah, so he's the one that he's the voice of the audiobook. So the audiobook for it's Jim Meskimen.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome.
So I found that very interesting that today I'm speaking to you. Today we just got him booked. He's coming on the program
Uh-huh.
this Friday. So I think life just works in very mysterious ways. I love it.
Yeah, sure. It's connecting.
Yes. Okay. So David mentioned to me that you're friends, that you know each other from LA, but you actually came from Japan to LA. So what I wanted to do is find out a little bit more about your journey. I know you've done some modeling in Japan. I've seen a few things in terms of credits in Japan, but how did acting start for you? How did that become your passion?
Actually, I've never done modeling in Japan. I've never
Oh,
done modeling or acting or any entertainment business in Japan.
okay.
So my mom is an English teacher, and then
Yeah.
she always encouraged me to study abroad to America.
Hmm.
And I was born and grew up in Japan, in
Right.
Saitama. It's close to Tokyo, but it's not really cool as Tokyo. It's like a small city. And I was watching a lot of American movies to
Mhm.
study English. Then I decided to study abroad to America after graduating university, high school, graduating high school. So I was born and grew up in Japan until high school. Then I wanted to become film director or special makeup artist.
Okay.
So I was majoring film in college in San Jose, and I went there for 2 years.
Mhm.
Then I realized I don't think directing is not my thing
Okay.
because you need to know a lot of stuff. You have to know how to use camera, and also business side, how to get the money from investor.
Mhm.
Also, you have to give the direction to all the actors, staff, and everyone. You have to be multitask, and then you have to be the leader of the project.
Yeah.
And I'm not like that. I prefer to focus on one thing and put all my effort. And yeah, so I was like, oh, acting was cool, but if I said I want to be actress,
Yeah.
people was gonna laugh at me. Even I was in America, I was in Japan. It's really unrealistic. Then I had a chance to do local fashion show in San Francisco,
Okay.
and I did that. I'm very tall. I'm 5'9", so I'm very tall for Japanese. So I had a chance to do that, and I realized it's kind of fun to be on the stage and not perform, but my express myself. Then I moved to LA from San Jose. Then starting to go to university, Cal State Northridge, and then I changed my major from film to theater art and studied acting. Then my second year in university, I watched a lot of reality TV show when I was at university because my English sucks. So I was trying to learn how to speak English.
Yeah.
Then I saw there's a reality show called Janice Dickinson Modeling Agency.
Mhm.
It's the Oxygen, and they are looking for new models for season 4.
Huh.
Then I saw back in the day we used MySpace, not Instagram or TikTok. So we used MySpace, and I submitted through MySpace, and then I got the call from casting director, and then I went to open call, and then they picked me for the show.
Yeah.
Then I started my modeling career.
Got it.
Then I get into acting because that was always my true passion.
Perfect. Thank you very much for explaining that. That's a very interesting story. And it takes guts not just to come to another country, but then to change your major midstream and saying, yeah, I tried that. That's not exactly what I want to do. So
Mm,
kudos to you for doing that. And your English is very good now.
I'm trying. It's so hard.
It is. Again, I'm an immigrant as well. I came here when I was 14, so younger than when you came to the United States. But I
Wait,
remember, yeah,
where are you coming from?
Ukraine. I came from
Oh,
Ukraine when I was 14. Yeah.
oh wow, but yeah, your English is perfect. No accent at all.
Thank you. Sometimes on some words I hear it, but yeah, I think for the most part it's pretty good.
Wow, that's awesome.
And again, we as actors, we tend to have an ear for certain things. So if you
Mm,
come here young enough and it's something that you want to work on, I think for
mhm,
me maybe it was a little bit easier just because of that ear and being able to
mm,
pick up the accents and certain pronunciations. And I love
mhm.
that sort of type of stuff anyway. So.
Yes.
Okay, so you did reality, so kind of reality TV helped you get into acting.
Yes.
Um, and what again? I also know that you have a martial arts background, and you
Mhm.
started doing martial arts in Japan. I think you started with karate. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So when so I started classic ballet when I was 3. So I'm always active and I like to work out, but I didn't really like classic ballet when I was small. And then my mom took me to karate lesson when I was 10.
Yeah.
Then I was fall in love with it.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was very active and I was a tomboy. I had a short hair. I looked like a boy when I was a kid.
Mhm.
And and I wasn't good at sports, so I didn't really get a lot of compliment except from my parents. And that was my first time in class when I practiced classic ballet. I was not good. I was really bad. So when I went to karate class for the first day, and my karate teacher said, "Wow, you have a talent." And I'm very tall, and I was flexible from my ballet lesson.
Yep.
So I could high kick really well, and I was very into it. And I trained until high school.
Wow. And what I know there are different types of karate. Which type of karate? What was your school that you went to?
It was a Kyokushin karate. So
Okay.
it's more intense. So we have actual body contact.
Yep.
And yeah, so I didn't really try competition, but yeah, definitely it helped my childhood. I didn't really like school. Didn't really I it's kind of hard for me to fit in like Japanese. It's very strict. I went to really strict private high school. So it helped me mentally to release my stress and also get my confidence from karate lesson.
Yeah. And then when did you start? And I know Kyokushin certainly has a lot of contact. When
Yeah.
did you transition to Jeet Kune Do and Muay Thai and all of the other types of martial arts that you were doing?
Okay, so after the reality TV shows, I started modeling like professionally. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I'm starting to take acting lessons
Mm-hmm.
and lots of acting lessons. And I had an audition for they are filming in Asia, and they were looking for a Japanese actress who can do martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was trying for the audition, and then just a producer told me to send action reel. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time, that was my first audition. So I was like, what is action reel?
Yeah.
I didn't real mean.
Yep.
And I already had a manager at the time. So he was helping me to make action reel, but it was really rough because I had a long break from my karate lesson since high school. So it was like more than 5 years break or 7 years break from any martial arts lesson. And I made a rough one, but I didn't book the job. But I realized it's kind of nice to have a skill for Asian actress to do martial arts. And I love action film. And my figure is kind of tall and kind of not strong, but athletic. So it'll be nice.
Strong.
Yeah, it will be nice to have that skill. And also I can be happy and mentally stable when I do martial arts.
Yeah.
So I took lesson more seriously. And then I started Muay Thai. And actually, I liked Muay Thai more than karate. And my teacher was, his name is Ray Corporan, and he used to train at Innocent Academy, and he admired Bruce Lee. And then he taught not only physical training, but also like a philosophy of Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah.
And the best experience, the best training.
Yeah, and probably that's where Kali comes from as well, because I saw Kali for you as well. So yeah, now that makes sense. That lineage makes sense because of Inasan.
Yeah, and he knows I train martial arts for my acting career.
Yeah.
So of course he wants me to train strong. He wants me to become stronger, but he also helped me. It'll be helpful for acting, because acting and real fighting is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was very.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that because you were doing modeling professionally, I'm surprised that they let you do martial arts, even training-wise, because that can damage the instrument. And as far as modeling, so there was nothing in the contract that said no, you cannot do any of this.
But actually, I didn't really do sparring because I was afraid.
Yeah.
I tried few times.
Yeah.
But I didn't really want to punch it on my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that can be tough. Well, with Kali, at least you can use sticks. Yeah. Very cool. And again, the reason why we're kind of bringing all this up, because not only is it interesting for me because I love martial arts and I'm a martial artist. I'm a martial arts enthusiast. I'm not a martial artist. There's a very specific difference. There are professionals and there are people who just love it and do a little bit of it. But the reason why we bring all this up is because it brings us to the films that you have done. And quite a few of your films have been utilizing all of this skill set. And I find this really interesting, just from an acting perspective of how a career comes together. And a career comes together for you. It went from Japan to LA. You wanted to be a director. You decided to go into acting through reality, through modeling, and then it transitioned into this combination. It's very, very interesting how life happens.
Yeah.
So from the acting perspective, have you found that, again, being an Asian actress, being somebody who has martial arts background, have you found that there's been a lot of they put you in a specific type and this is what we're looking for, and you're not you don't get as much of a chance to do other projects?
Yes. Yes and no. No, I think yes. Yeah, because acting, and we also get casted from the looks as well. And my looks doesn't look really cute, because sometimes like people imagine, like American people imagine Asian girls, they're small and cute and high pitched voice, but I'm not like that. I'm very tall and kind of strong, looks stronger than other cute Asian girls. So I didn't really get the job like for comedy stuff, or most of the role I've got auditioned for was like assassin or Yakuza women or ninja assassin, or what can I say? Or love interest of or wife, girlfriend. So yeah, I think they have stereotype for Asian actress, and I used to do a lot of music videos, so I've done stripper role a few times, and yeah, it was fun. But yeah, I think they have stereotype for Asian actress. I think either short and cute and fun comedy, or cold killer assassin Asian women. I'm not sure, I think, from my experience.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, the industry appears to be progressing beyond those, plain stereotypes. And you can be a tall, beautiful Asian woman who doesn't have to be a martial arts, killer. And you can have more interesting roles and not just in specific stereotypes. So I hope that changes for you in the future. Um, in terms of, again, now that you're kind of doing more and more projects, have you had an opportunity for, Japan to call and saying, hey, we want you for certain roles? Have you had that happen yet?
Um, I've done actually. I shot a dark comedy for the first time
Nice.
with Japanese director last year, and then I just saw the rough cut
Mhm.
a week. So it was yeah. So that was so I worked for a Japanese TV show for interviewer, but not for acting. But lately, even for American project, they require, because my advantage is I speak Japanese because I was born and grew up in Japan. I'm not Japanese American. I'm very Japanese.
Right.
So I think this is my advantage. And last year, most of the audition, I have to do both English and Japanese.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're looking for someone who is decent Japanese person who grew up there and who can speak Japanese perfectly. But at the same time, they want us to act in English, so
Yeah.
which perfect for me. But my problem was I've been training acting in English. So I've never done acting in Japanese. So it was kind of interesting for me.
Yeah.
And the film, it was released this year. It called In Full Bloom. I only spoke Japanese in that movie because I played Japanese wife.
Mhm.
But it was challenging as well. They flew Japanese actor from Japan. He's famous. His name is Hiroyuki Watanabe. And I grew up watching him.
I know Watanabe.
Yeah, I grew up watching him, and I played Japanese boxer's wife, and we stayed in small cabin in Idaho in Snow Mountain. And he taught me a lot of history about Japan. And the story was after the World War II in Japan and America.
Mhm.
So gave me a lot of history, and also he helped me, like, not acting, but yeah, he helped like whole things about being actor. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was really a helpful experience, and I would love to work more in Japan,
Mhm.
but not specifically Japanese people called me and go to Japan and shoot them. It's not really happening yet, but last year I worked with Japanese yeah, last year I worked with Japanese directors, and which was amazing, and it was fun. But that film was in English, but there's Japanese subtitles, and they're gonna release very soon. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, no, it's great. And hopefully, again, just you have a unique experience, and hopefully that starts giving you more and more opportunities around the world, not just in the United States.
Yes.
So very cool. What were some of the lessons, if you're open to sharing, that he has shared that would be good for us to hear?
For you mean a Japanese actor I've learned?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that was my first time working with like only Japanese actors on the set.
Yeah.
And I think personality-wise, Japanese people are very serious and intense and work so hard.
Yeah.
So it was like boot camp for acting. So I was preparing for my role because it was an important project for me, and I tried my best. But when I met him at the airport, in the first day, he had this like thick file of researching about the history at the time in Japan, and he highlighted everything on his lines, and he made so much time and effort on that project, and I was so inspired by him. And he also so not how to what can I say, how to bring the line, not bring the line, but how to live as a character.
Yeah.
And then it's so difficult. He taught me how to do the scene without acting. I think that's why he taught me how to be not natural, but how to live the life as this character.
Yeah. Can you share, what he taught you, or is that a secret?
Um, I think for me, chemistry is very important between the actors.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time together when we are filming together. So it's easy to just say the line together and like one practice and that's it. It's easy. But we talked a lot about our private life, what we think about history in Japan, what we think about acting and our life in general. We shared lots of um, lots of information.
Yeah.
Like so I think we had a really strong chemistry already before filming. So I think that was most important for me. In America we have a trailer, so people stay in the trailer and never come out.
Yeah.
That yeah, because it I think it's nice we have that kind of fancy circumstance, but usually in Japan
Excuse me.
we don't really have a trailer. I don't think like even big production in Japan. Usually people spend all the actors, they spend more time together. So I kind of like that way. So some of the film I've done before for American production, I didn't really have a chance to meet any actors at all. I only go there when I have my scene for filming.
Yep.
Most of the time I was just waiting at the trailer and using my phone and that's it.
Yep.
But for I'm not sure all the production in Japan or not, but that one we were always together and I really like that circumstance because we can get to know each other more. We have more freedom to do acting scene and yeah. Also, I thought same thing when I was in Asia to film for TV series called it's HBO Asia original action series called Grise. So I stayed there for a month for filming in Island in Indonesia. And they have a studio called Infinite Studio in Batam Island. But that was the same, it was kind of similar. So we stayed in same hotel, not hotel, more like we had a roommate as well.
Sure.
So I had a lot of time spending time together with crew and other actors. So we are like a big family. So I feel like Asian production is more intimate and closer than American production. American production is more business-like, I feel. I'm not sure, but from my experience.
Sure. No, I think that's fair. Again, I have not been a part of large productions, but I think if it's a series and you have series regulars, they get to do a lot. Or if it's a production that has a family and they put people together and they really do a great job of making sure that people really get to know each other before the shooting starts. So I think it more depends in the American productions. It depends on the type of production and what they're trying to get out. But I think in general, you're right. And yeah, I've spoken with different well-known actors. Some of them don't want to socialize with anybody. They want to be in the world because this is their work. They want to come out, do the scene, and then come back. Other people want to be around others. For me, I want to be around people. I want to talk. I want to chat. I want to learn. This is my personality. So for me, I think it would be more difficult just to be locked in a trailer and do nothing but focus on my lines. It's an interesting idea. So I guess I want to shoot in Japan. I think that's what I'm taking out of it.
Intense scene, like before that's if I'm gonna shoot like kill myself or my best friend is dying or sad scene, of course I want to be alone and I want to focus for myself. But if I play like love interest, I prefer to know him and hang out and become friends. Then it's easier for me to, I'm kind of shy. So, and then also I hesitate to like touching or or those stuff. So if I became friend with him in real life, more fun and easier for me to do the scene.
Sure. No, that makes sense. And there has to be closeness, and there has to be, an ease, right?
Mm,
It's hard to play a person that you are playing a person that you're
mhm.
really close with without having any kind of closeness beforehand. It's very
Yeah.
tough. Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree with it. Very cool. So as your career is advancing and as you're working on more and more roles, what do you find that works for you on set? You've mentioned already the chemistry is really important. What other
Mhm.
lessons have come about that you feel are really important?
Mhm. What? Hmm. I want to say preparation,
Mhm.
but but at the same time, you shouldn't prepare too much because when I get audition, I tend to prepare too much because I'm concerned my accent. English is not my first language.
Right.
So when I get audition, I practice a lot, like 100 times more than American people. I read over and over, and I don't want to screw up my lines. So I want to make sure my lines are right and 120% perfect.
Yep.
But I have a acting coach before, like, and couple acting coach already pointed out that I practice too much and it doesn't look organic or real. So they told me don't memorize my lines too much. I have to read, but I'm responding if my in the scene
Yeah.
someone said something
Yeah.
and I want them back. So it's conversation. You're catching the ball.
Yeah.
But if I practice too much, I already know what he's gonna say.
Yeah.
And before I prepared so much, so I remember other people's line as well, like perfectly.
Yep.
Like every inch of every word I know. So and it doesn't look real. So on the set, of course, you need to prepare.
Mhm.
You have to prepare to. You need to memorize a line, of course.
Yeah.
But I think more important thing is you need to understand the character.
Mhm.
You have to know the history of this character. You have to know what she like, what the relationship she has with other character, and she has to um, dig really really deep to understand the character more than just learning the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I've learned and I'm trying, but still I prepare too much for my lines.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I think
Mhm.
what I've seen in my limited experience, but if I know the character really well,
Mm.
then it's almost like the lines are already within,
Yeah.
and it's I don't have to think about it. It feels natural. It feels natural
Mm-hmm.
that comes out, and I can just kind of let everything go and be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I agree with you that it's much more about connecting with that character. And
Mm-hmm.
once you do, the lines are going to come out on their own.
Yeah, but it's
Agreed.
hard.
It's hard. That's why acting is tough. Some people have an idea that it's easy, but it's one of the toughest things that you can possibly do. It's
Mm-hmm.
draining physically, emotionally, psychologically, energetically. There is a lot of stuff that goes into it, and then there's acting on top of all of that. So, do you continue doing martial arts? Are you staying fit? Because acting, again, takes a lot out of you physically. So, what is your routine? When you're on set. I know that you don't want to be in the trailer, but what do you do?
I so before pandemic happened,
Yeah.
I went to studio, a dojo, and
Mhm.
then trained. But now, and also sometimes I trained with my actor friend
Mhm.
who is really great at. I also trained Japanese sword fighting
Yeah.
in Yai, and we practice together once a week. But since this things happen, and also I was in Japan for 3 months during quarantine, during pandemic,
Mhm.
so I do some routine that I watched YouTube a lot and then learning. So they taught us how to do like cardio kickboxing, how to maintain core, and like yeah. So like Yeah. I do some basic workout and core training
Yeah.
and hold my legs and hold it like that. It slowly and
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that takes a lot. That takes a lot to be able to hold the
Mm,
kick, depending on which position. That utilizes everything within the body. So
yeah.
yeah, it's very good.
Mhm.
Although again, with the swords, when you're doing swords are pretty long, so you're kind of keeping social distance if you're doing sword fighting.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can get that close.
Yeah, well, yeah, just don't get right here, but away, I think that works.
Yeah.
Fencing was my second martial art. So
Oh,
I
cool.
started with judo and then I did fencing. So
Oh, that's
yeah, but yes, I love any kind of sword fighting. So I grew
mhm,
up watching the Japanese movies and the samurai movies and
mhm.
Zatoichi and everything. So it was
Yeah,
uh,
that's a great film. The
yeah.
Toei.
So yes, it's again.
Mhm.
That's why I think when Tarantino came up with Kill Bill, Kill Bill I've seen I don't know how many times, one one and two, and there's a lot of interesting stuff there. So
Yeah, I'd love to be in that kind of movie. I love Tarantino
yeah,
and I love Kill Bill. Yeah, I would love to be in it.
well, have your manager reach out to Quentin and see what can be done.
Yes, I hope so.
Sounds good. All right. So, any kind of interesting stories that you have of, again, coming from Japan to LA and just in some of the cultural differences that we living here don't really think about?
um, I think people here um, in Japan, our culture is kind of reserved.
Hmm.
So, but for acting, it's like in Japanese entertainment industry, manager does everything for them. So they have to like here you are more independent. So all the actors, even if they have an agent or a manager or a publicist, you have to work on it. You have to reach out to the casting director. You have to take a new headshot. You have to find a photographer. If you don't do anything, nothing's happen. But Japanese industry, once you get the big agency, you don't really, I don't want to say you don't have to do anything, but manager does everything for them. So we, I don't think there's a lot of auditions in Japan because once you are in big agency and you are in some level, you will book the job without audition. That's normal.
Interesting.
But yeah, but here, even if you're a celebrity,
Yep.
you audition with famous actors to get the job.
Yeah.
So and also in Japan, you don't get the big opportunity if you're not famous, and you don't even get considered because you're nobody. But I think here, I'm sure, of course, if you're a famous actress, you have more opportunity for auditions for a big project. But at least you have more. At least producer or studio consider unknown actress for new project
Yeah.
compared to Japan. Of course, if you're famous, you can get more opportunity. Of course,
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
but compared to Japan, there's no way if you're not famous actors, there's no way you can be in a big studio film. Never, it's never gonna happen. But here, yeah, some of the actors from other countries or like a Japanese actress, even if they're unknown, but if they have a great acting skill or right for the role, director casts them, and I think that is amazing because they see their talent and not their not their
Resume. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's I've noticed, and I really like it.
Yeah, certainly. And I think there are a lot of projects that specifically want new faces and they want, because when you're famous, you've been associated usually with a couple of projects or one role, and it's
Mm-hmm.
hard for people to see you in a different role. and they
Right.
want specifically those people who are not familiar to everybody else, so they can
Mm.
really kind of view them as that character. So absolutely, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So more opportunities for us, newbies, so to speak.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you've mentioned that you'd love to be in a Quentin Tarantino film. What are some of the other projects, movies or TV shows that you see that you would say, I would love to be a part of that?
I want to play, I want to do supernatural stuff. So, like vampire
Yeah,
or
yeah.
with a superpower. So, I like True Blood. I like I like Marvel
Mhm.
stuff
Yeah.
or yeah, but I'm open for anything. Because I like human drama as well. Like This Is Us. It's yeah. So yeah, I'm very open.
Very cool. Yeah, This Is Us is one of my wife's favorite shows.
Yeah, yeah, it's really.
Okay, so you've been on quite a few projects already. If you had to pick one without making everybody else feel bad, what would be your favorite project that you've been on so far?
In Full Bloom.
Okay.
Yes, so that's the boxing film I just mentioned,
Yeah.
and I shot that movie 2017.
Hmm.
But at the time, I was not sure I want to keep doing acting,
Hmm.
and I was kind of I lost my belief in myself, and being actress is hard. And then I have done this for a while, but I didn't reach the point that I wanted to be. And I was thinking about maybe going to Japan and find a new job or find a new career. So I was kind of lost at the time.
Hmm.
Then that project I was happening, and they flew actor from Japan,
Yeah.
and we shot together. And then I realized making movie is amazing and fun, and it's worth to sacrifice myself.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think in Full Bloom, and we won best film on Oldenburg Film Festival last year in Germany,
Nice.
and then we got Grand Jury award in Mammoth Film Festival, and then we're still submitting for more film festivals.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see how it works. But yeah, that's the project I have my favorite project.
Yeah. And how do you feel now? Do you feel like you still want to pursue this? This is worth doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, sometimes I get frustrated.
Sure.
Sometimes I'm lost. I'm like, what am I doing? Why I'm practicing to be emotional or practicing to train sword fighting? Because if I don't do acting, I don't use this skill
Mhm.
to how to use sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need that skill. I should learn like accounting or business, but yeah, those skill set I'm not sure it might be useless. But sometimes I doubt myself. But yeah, at this moment, because when I see the final product that I was in it,
Yeah.
I'm really grateful. Especially if I had a chance to work with someone I can respect, we have the same passion. So it's really, really nice feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have projects in post-prod, and hopefully the Garrison series, becomes a big deal. So,
Hmm.
hopefully you'll get to the goals that you set for yourself, and it'll be a little easier down the road.
Yes. Yes, I'm very excited because I love Australian people.
Yeah.
I went to Australia when I was in high school. For my high school trip, I stayed in Australia for a month.
Mhm.
So, and I had a good impression for Australian people, and the director and producer, his name is Scott Brewer, but
Mhm.
he is awesome. And he was in Japan and trained martial arts before.
Nice.
And lots of, common, and he has an amazing energy, and I'm very excited.
Very cool. Well, the best of luck on those projects. That's awesome. Um, Last question for you.
Sure.
If you had a chance to talk to the young version of yourself who's just starting out and deciding on doing acting, and you had a chance to give one piece of advice, what would that advice be?
Things happen for a reason. Things happen for a reason. So don't take too serious and just let it go. So don't, because before I was, how can I say, every audition of course I put all my effort to do my best for my scene. But if I don't hear from my manager or casting director, I always get sad. But now I think everything happened for a reason. So even if I don't book the job, or if something bad or sad things happen, it happened for a reason. And when I get older and look back, I had a bad things happen before in this like 10 years. But when I look back, actually, I appreciate those things happen. I cried and I was really, really sad and shocked. But I was grateful because that made me stronger mentally, very, very strong. And now I know how to handle that kind of situation if those things happen to me. So I want to tell my young version of me, everything happened for a reason. So even if it's sad or shit happened, don't take it personally or seriously and just move on. Yeah.
No, that's great advice, and it can be used by all of us. most of the time, I think it's very relevant. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciated talking to you. Best of luck with your upcoming pictures, and enjoy Australia once all of this opens up.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, and thanks to everybody for tuning in into another episode of The Love of Acting. We know you love it as much as we do, and that's why we do this for you. Thank you.